as of that night. And one of them is the New Day. Expect the New Day. Okay, they're the longest reigning tag champs. And the Usos, they're okay. I like their new heel gimmick. But, with that said, they need ratings, folks. And with that being said, the New Day, I think, will be your new SmackDown Live. Hold on. Wait. They do something here that kind of relates to this. Oh. WWE World Tag Team Champions. I think I did that right. Anyway, they will be your new SmackDown Tag Champs. New Day defeat the Usos, I think. Next, Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Natalya, Tamina, and Carmella. Again, Jinder Mahal is your WWE champion. Okay? Anything is possible. Now, the automatic favorite is, well, Charlotte. Which of these women have... And Becky Lynch is the first SmackDown Women's Champion. Natalya hasn't been champion in a long time. No, she was a Divas champion. Tamina's never held gold. Carmella's never held gold. So, my prediction to win will probably be Natalya. My sleeper, Carmella. Why? Because... And I don't get it, but they probably will. Just, land of opportunity, the whole gimmick that SmackDown kind of prides itself in, which to me makes zero sense. I mean, I get it. You're people are crying for new things and this, that, and yet, nobody's happy anyway. Who gives a shit? So, all right, Natalya is different as a contender. You had the heel to work with the babyface. Carmella's different, and you have the heel working the babyface. And you have James Ellsworth, the most important part of that Carmella-Ellsworth duo. I mean, come on now. So, I think Natalya will win. Sleeper is Carmella. And I think they'll turn Charlotte and Becky on each other and have that small feud, while whomever wins Money in the Bank will kind of tease going along with Naomi. And after the good match that they had, have Tamina and Naomi kind of go into a different feud that way. So we can do that too. Next, the WWE Championship match. The challenger, Randy Orton. The champion, Jinder Mahal. The build for this sucks. I mean, it's typical Randy Orton bullshit. You have Jinder Mahal trying to talk up that he's the greatest, and okay, he squashed Mojo Rawley, which also squashes the purpose of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. So, you're not really accomplishing shit. He's only had one television match since becoming champion, to my knowledge. Otherwise, it's been promos every week, which is okay. I mean, I don't mind the promos every week. You're trying to talk up that you're the best thing to come, as champion. So that's great. And Randy Orton really hasn't done much. So with that said, I think the Randy Orton not doing much trend is going to continue, and you're defending WWE champion Jinder Mahal. I think will retain, to maybe set up a big monster feud between him and Cena, where Cena breaks Flair's record eventually at SummerSlam, which I'm not mad about, nor should you. I said it, and I really don't care what you think. Then the main event, main event's probably going to, I don't know, because, if I'm looking at this, the way that they're saying it on WWE.com, at least on my phone, the women's title match will be first. The tag title match will be second. Women's third. Title match fourth. And Money in the Bank fifth. I think they would start the women's Money in the Bank first, and then going to potentially, and then doing the. I think they should do this last anyway. You have U.S. Champion Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, Baron Corbin, Sami Zayn, Dolph Ziggler, and Shinsuke Nakamura. You have a lot bigger names here right now, all in one match. And I don't think that the result of Mahal Orton will leave anybody happy either way. That's just me being me. Unless, if this match goes on if this is the match that goes on first, because it's not out of the ordinary. If this match goes on first, expect the winner to try and cash in against whomever it will be at the end of the pay-per-view. If this goes on right before the title match or at the last as the last match to close the show, don't expect anything to happen, obviously. And vice versa with and likewise with the women's matches. If the women's match goes on first, don't be surprised if the winner of that cashes in on the winner of the SmackDown Women's title match. Because, again, Kane's done it before. Won Money in the Bank, then cashed in and won the world title. World title or ECW title? I can't remember. So, that's my thoughts on Money in the Bank. Now, something to get, to go on really, really quick before I leave you all for the night, and I know you're very upset, is the upcoming, I just read this online somewhere, that Triple H is upset that the way the NXT the NXT talent is being used or lack thereof on the main show. On the main roster. I get it because I kind of feel the same way about a lot of talents. So let's look at this. Other than like Finn Balor, I mean Bray Wyatt's still an NXT guy from the early days. I gotta tell you. I mean, what have any of the NXT people really done? And I hate to sound, like an asshole like that, but alright, right now you have Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar at that stupid pay-per-view that I really hate to mention the name of. You have Samoa Joe versus Brock. Alright, that's good. If he doesn't win, where does he go from here? Braun Strowman was not an NXT talent. So he's kind of being built from the ground up on the main roster. Okay. Then you go to look at Bray Wyatt. Okay, he's a WWE champion, but for like a month. And he lost it pretty much to Randy Orton. Nakamura, he's being billed as a main guy. Alright, that's good. Let's see how long that lasts. Sami Zayn, a former NXT champion. He has been getting jack shit. I'm just going to put it blunt. Baron Corbin and AJ Styles, not NXT guys. Well, sorry, Baron Corbin was NXT. Not an indie guy, Baron Corbin was. Styles wasn't an NXT guy. And he was a former WWE champion, had a nice little run. KO, longest reigning Universal Champion, U.S. champion a couple times. He's had his fair share of success. All right, that's an exception. But the guy who's most over, I believe, from NXT, other than Nakamura or whatever, is Ty Dillinger. He got called up. What's he been doing? Apollo Crews, I still believe they blew their load really early with him when you had him wrestle Finn Balor. and a couple times, and he had him lose. All right, then where is he supposed to go from there? Realistically. So, and American Alpha, they were so over as NXT Tag Team Champions. The Ascension was the longest reigning Tag Team Champions. Neither of them, both on the SmackDown Live brand, are doing nothing. They're reduced to doing nothing. And it sucks. You have these guys that Triple H and the NXT agents, everything. They're spending all this time and money to get these guys over and to be appealing to the audience. And they're over with the NXT audience. And honestly, if they were given a chance, they'd be over with the WWE audience too. But they're not really being given that chance. They're not. And it sucks for not only the talent, but for the growth of the WWE going forward. Like, you're going to keep relying on John Cena, who's, pulling a rock move, major into TV and movies. Now, Randy Orton, who's a dud. I mean, he's a good wrestler, but God, he's got the personality of a fucking rock. Not in a good way either. And not that rock. Roman Reigns, I mean, NXT guy too, but really, what's he doing? Alright, okay, Neville, long-reigning Cruiserweight champion. Seth Rollins is Seth Rollins. Dean Ambrose is Dean Ambrose, forward champion. There are certain success stories. I get it. But there's a lot more failures than success stories, at least when it's coming to the NXT. You want these guys developed, and they're gaining the experience in touring and getting over, and a lot of these guys and gals are getting over, and there's nothing. I mean, look at Bayley. She was one of the most over acts in NXT, and what is she being reduced to? A squash match to Alexa Bliss, who, although I love her, she didn't hold NXT gold while she was there, and now all of a sudden she's the first woman to capture both Raw and SmackDown's women's titles. Right? I mean, I get it. Some things are a matter of circumstance, and I get Triple H's frustration because he's being trusted to be building these kids up. I shouldn't be saying kids, but he's being trusted to building these talents up, and what's being reduced to it? Really? God, it's annoying as shit. I just think, and I'm going to close out with this, I just think it's time for Triple H to take everything over. He's one of the boys. I'm sure, any sort of political industry, and yes, wrestling is very much a politically ran industry. I mean, don't kid yourselves, boys and girls. But it's just the way. Of course, you're going to have the favorites. You're going to have the guys that are Triple H guys, a la Finn Balor. But it's time for him to just take the reins of the WWE talent, because he knows what he's doing with NXT, and he's doing a great job, despite what certain people might think about the brand and how that, quote, indie style is being translated into the WWE current product. But it's getting over, and the business is changing, and Triple H sees it. He has enough foresight to kind of let them work. Look at the last Takeover last Takeover. That's one of the best examples, just letting them work, or for better or for worse. Okay, Ciampa's hurt. Shit happens. But, these guys and girls are getting over. I fear when Asuka loses the women's title, because then she's going to come over to the main roster, but then where's she going to go? Who's she going to wrestle against? She's so much better than most of the talent, of the women talent on the main roster. It's silly. It's not even comparable. And she's proven that she can beat everybody. She's one that, and I don't know how she would feel, because I'm sure she would want the WWE money, and I don't blame her.